Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gem City Gridiron Roundup podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dalton Van Pelt. Scotch on the sidelines. With me, I have the commissioner, Zach Stewart. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty well, Dalton. As long as things go well, I'm going to get out the snide finally. It's a great feeling to have after a couple of rough weeks, but glad I can get out the snide as long as Mike Williams doesn't go for 40 in the second half.
So it comes down to him, huh?
Yep, it comes down to him.
I had not looked.
I put up 181 this week, my second 180 effort of the year, and I haven't won yet.
Yeah, you should be just fine.
Yep. So it's nice. Pat was out. Little preview, but Pat was out, a couple studs, but still put up a great week. He played Cordero Patterson. Good for him. I did not expect him to play Cordero Patterson, and I was about quaking in my boots when I saw that he had him in there. And then I got a bunch of garbage time touchdowns, which was nice to see. But no, it's great to be back. Next week's episode is going to be real fun and interesting. Dalton and I are going to Dallas this weekend. Actually, 4 league members are going to Dallas this weekend. Dalton, myself, Lein, and Sackett. It's going to be a fun weekend down in Dallas, Texas at Jerry's World.
Should be 2 4-0s and a 2 1-3s.
Yeah, and we play. And Lean and I play.
You and Lean play.
Yeah, which is gonna be fun. That will both be down there.
This is a toilet bowl preview. Just kidding.
I scored 179 twice. I'm not too worried about it. As long as the team can perform. It helps when Tyreek goes for 47.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
And Debo. Big game for Debo. But yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I watched mostly baseball on Sunday.
Yeah, I bet.
As there was a lot of 162 implications.
Yeah.
I'm also in the hole, $45 on gambling. So tonight's game, I decided to try to win it all back. So I got $30 on the Raiders, and if they win, to win.
The Chargers just scored.
They did. So if the Raiders win,
another touchdown to a tight end, Jared Cook.
Yep, Jared Parham in the first quarter, Jared Cook in the second quarter. But
Donald Parham.
It's only 14-0. If the Raiders win, I am back at right where I left off before I bet on the final 2 games or final 2 days of the MLB season.
Did you just go money line, Raiders money line?
Nope.
Or
Raiders money line. It's plus 150.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. If I don't win, then I'm just going to be chasing for a couple weeks until I get back to even.
It's kind of hard to play the bad teams in baseball playoffs. Those are kind of ones you kind of hard to bet on.
Well, it was great until the final strike of the Diamondbacks season. Home run.
And a walk-off,
Walk-off home run on the final strike against the Rockies, and that's how I lost.
And 2 bad teams.
Yeah.
And the
odds were really good.
And the worst team won.
That's true. The odds were really good, so I had to take it.
Because
I won on Friday, but I had to just take the bets on Saturday and Sunday because the odds were just too good.
Yeah, I still haven't got into the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Really?
No, I like it, but I want to try to get better at daily fantasy. That's something I want to get better at. Just like even betting still daily, but it's hard to do those. I did win in Vegas. It's something about being in Vegas and going to the counter and laying the cash.
I don't care about any of that.
It's so fun. But yeah, I haven't really signed up for DK Sportsbook, and I haven't put any money in my DraftKings at all yet. I've just been hammering my season longs and paying close attention to those. and I've just been super busy. This was the first weekend I actually got to sit down and watch the entire morning and afternoon slate uninterrupted. Past couple weeks, obviously I was in Vegas, and then I had volunteer work at church I was at for one of the morning Sundays, and then what was week 3?
Chicago.
And then I was in Chicago, and then finally this week I was able to sit down in the basement and watch a ton of football, which is great because next weekend we're going to be in Dallas, and the week after I'm in Denver. So it's like I'm not going to get a whole bunch of morning slates that are so packed.
There's a London game we got to wake up for on Sunday morning before the game.
That's going to be great. That football all day.
Watch that from the hotel or from the Airbnb before we go to the game.
Yeah. We'll be watching a lot of football. It'd be fun to go to find a sports bar downtown or something, watch Sunday night.
Well, we will be able to do that.
Yeah. So we'll be able to, find a place somewhere downtown and find it. It'd be great. Who is the Sunday night game next week?
I don't remember, we can preview it later.
Yeah.
Let's get to the IRL football.
The IRL.
What do you say?
Why not?
Thursday night, Bengals, Jaguars. There was some turnover implications that to take place here. There were 0 turnovers in this game, which makes no sense.
I know. I didn't watch a whole ton of that game. That was the only game I didn't really watch. I was working that night, but DJ Chark, what? I can't hear you at all. I will go on.
No, you can probably hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you now. We're on mute.
Okay. Yeah, I must have clicked mute. But anyway, I wanted to take Jaguars to cover in this game, and I really wanted to, and they ended up covering. So that was a missed opportunity on my part. Yeah,
I was just saying, DJ Chark, he got rolled up on. Looks like a broken ankle.
He's probably done for
most likely done for
6
the year.
to 8 weeks.
Yeah, they didn't quite say. They did put him on IR, but which had a little bit of a breakout party for Laviska Shenault Jr. Finally got a little more ADOT, averaged up the target down the field. He wasn't quite the line of scrimmage guy. James Robinson looked good, but the Bengals just pulled it out. Joe Mixon did get a little banged up too. He's
probably going to be out this week.
Just man, I love Joe Mixon. It's so hard. Love-hate relationship. Everybody that has had Joe Mixon in the past and the present and in the future, it is a love-hate relationship no matter what. And I'm sure Lein feels the same way this year.
Yeah. This 2 years in a row he's had him, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I was adamant about taking him in a bunch of leagues, and I kept getting vetoed in our Vegas league. I'm like, let's take him. They're like, no, we're not. I don't want to tie my money to Joe Mixon. If I have a choice, I'm not tying my money to Joe Mixon.
Good game by Joe Burrow, 25 for 32, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, Burrow looked good. Very efficient.
Jamar Chase looked insane.
Mm-hmm. No touchdowns.
No touchdowns.
Tyler Boyd looked great.
2 touchdowns for CJ Uzomah.
A tight end, you can just throw another tight end dart at.
Yeah, just put him on your bench and just start him whenever you have wild hair up your ass, I guess.
Yeah, hard to predict those tight end 1 weeks. But let's see. I'm going back and looking. I got the schedule up finally. Looking at week 4. Go ahead and pick the next game. I got
Washington versus Hotlanta. This was actually a very good game. Washington
hot garbage
business. Atlanta. Yeah, Matt Ryan actually had a pretty decent game. Cordero Patterson, what the fuck? Mike Davis still ends up with a decent game with the touchdown, saves his day.
Mike Davis had 13 carries for 14 yards.
He did have 13 carries for 14 yards. Low ceiling, high floor. I will take it. It's a step up from Todd Gurley.
Man, he's getting bailed out with the touchdowns. Funny thing. So, obviously I was playing Pat this week, and I know he had Cordero Patterson. but he was sitting on his bench, and I was at the store, and I was just kind of trying to see how lineups were going. And last time I had looked, he had CPAT on the bench, and then I'm watching the games, and then Patterson catches the first touchdown. I'm like, oh, that sucks. He catches the second touchdown. Man, that sucks for Patrick. Catches the third touchdown. Man, that sucks for Patrick. And eventually I go and check my score because I'm superstitious and I usually don't check the score till usually
Halftime in the first games.
Yeah, halftime all games have to be at halftime in the first games. And I pull up the score and I'm like, how the hell does he have so many freaking points? And go and behold that he put CPAT in last second. And I'm like, damn, that's a smart move. But no, CPAT, he only played like 17% of the snaps or something. Like he was just super efficient. But he is the running back 2 in fantasy football, which is absurd. He's just banking on high efficiency.
Qualify as running back?
He is running back in NFL fantasy.
Yeah. Because he actually plays more snaps from the backfield than anywhere else.
Yep. That started last year when Gurley went down. He was just, he played more running back snaps and they officially listed him as a running back. But that game was super fun to watch and they're on the red zone. Taylor Heineke,
I did not have the red zone this weekend. That's probably why I didn't watch a ton.
Yeah.
But keep going.
Heineke's just fun to watch. He's got that they were comparing him, like he's just got that YOLO ball, like the Jameis Winston / Ryan Fitzpatrick, like huck it up and let the best player come down with it, which is Terry McLaurin. He had
2
a great
touchdowns.
game. And the game winning one, like of course it has to be like the Falcons. You're up and it's like a 2:45 to go. And then what do? 3 straight plays, run, timeout, run, timeout, run, timeout, punt. And Heineke just all the way down the field. And the game-winning touchdown to McKissick was wild. Like rolling left, sees McKissick on his right side, dumps it over a bunch of linemen. McKissick goes running, jumps from like the 4 or 5 yard line and barrels in. Like I didn't think he scored. But the whole plane and elevated, and it was really weird. If you haven't checked it out, that touchdown was absolutely wild.
I'll probably have to watch it again, but I did see a bit of it, but I don't know if I've actually seen the thing itself.
Logan Thomas went down in that game, hamstring week to week. Another blow to the tight ends. There's only one good tight end, and that's about it.
Plays on my team, and he only scored 6 points this week.
Yeah, a lot of tight ends outscore Travis Kelce, but you're going to have those weeks. Majority of the time, Kelsey's going to finish as that top 6 tight end. Easy.
This is probably his only week, and that's just because they decided to guard Kelce and not Hill this week.
Okay, how about a season-long bet?
Go ahead.
Travis Kelce, so week 5 through 17 or whenever he doesn't play, because they could clinch and all that. How many weeks does Travis Kelce finish outside the top 12? 1.5? Obviously, you're going to take the lesser number because you're banking on.
I honestly still think I'd take the over on 1.5.
2.5?
Still the over.
Okay. Well, then I guess we won't be able to reach an agreement. But no, he will finish some weeks as not a tight end 1, but that's just based on how things go. It fluctuates. You're going to get the Uzome. But I mean, tight end 12 this week was hot garbage too.
7.8.
Yeah, I thought I could get you into it 1 this week.
I would do it for 3.5. I'd take the under.
The tight end 12 this week was Mark Andrews at 11.7.
Yeah. I think he's still going to have 4 more games where he's not tight end 12, but
yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about that bet. You had said that he was I mean, never mind. Let's see here. How about Jets Titans?
Jets Titans. I did not see a ton of this game. I did watch the closing minutes of it until I didn't think the Jets had a chance. Then I turned the channel. Turns out I should not have done that. Well, I
Great
watched the
finish.
field goal, and I
Great
figured the
finish.
Titans were going to march down the field, and they did not.
They missed the kick
Zach
at the very
Wilson.
end. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Titans. Randy Bullock missed a kick with about 15 seconds to go. 45-yarder, wide left. Could have been in a tie, but Zach Wilson looked good. Jamison Crowder played for the first time this year. The Titans are Derrick Henry and Derrick Henry alone. At this point, the Titans defense is bad. Oh.
Did they split Jeremy McNichols out wide because he had 12 targets?
Played a lot of slot, yeah. He did play a lot of slot. Did play in the backfield like he is the other running back, but he was dump off city.
Ferks are naked could not get the job done.
He had good targets.
He did. The Jets beat the Titans in a shocker. Honestly, this was a weekend of most people losing their ass in betting.
Yeah,
NFL football. Touchdown, Austin Eckler.
It's good for Luke.
That's bad
pass. Pass or
I
run?
might end up in a $75 hole by the time this
was it a pass or run?
Podcast is over. It was a pass, 14-yard touchdown reception.
Fuck. I'm playing against Herbert in one of their league, and it's a 6-point per touchdown pass league, and
that's his third touchdown pass.
I know. I'm up 48. He's got Herbert and Carlson.
Well, the Raiders have 0 points so far, so
that's gonna help me. Otherwise, Jets look good. Zach Wilson looked good for the first time, but that just could be an understatement of how bad the Titans are.
The Titans defense is that bad.
They're bad.
Buffalo. Houston forgets how to play offense for the first time. Davis Mills looked awful. Listen to this stat line: 11 for 21, 87 yards, and 4 interceptions, 1 rush for 2 yards, a 23.4 quarterback rating, and surprisingly, he did not get hurt. I don't know how that's possible.
Bad. Mitch Trubisky had a touchdown compared to Davis Mills.
He did. Oh my gosh, how many times did he get sacked? He got sacked. He only got sacked twice.
They just picked him off. They were just playing coverage.
Yeah.
It was a rainstorm.
They're just dropping it back.
Yeah, it was a rainstorm, which is surprising. I think Brandon Cooks is going to be a absolute stud this year. In that environment, the
9.7 points.
They called it poncho weather. He had 9.7 points, 5 for 47, and he just it doesn't matter. Like the last couple of weeks, he scored 18 plus fantasy points. He's getting a 35-40% target share. He's just force feeding him the ball. Granted, I mean, poncho weather, but he's got a 10-point floor in that environment. He's going to be good all year.
Is Dawson Knox and Emmanuel Sanders real?
Yes, but can you pick them in the right week? I think Dawson Knox is going to be more realistic in fantasy purposes because tight end is so thin, whereas Manny Sanders, you're trying to fit him in your lineup. I think Dawson Knox will be fine. He's going to be that back end tight end one, touchdown dependent, but which tight end isn't?
Right.
I mean, I would trust him. I mean, I played him in a handful of leagues, but I think he's going to be fine going forward. Josh Allen trusts him. I think after Cole Beasley, it's probably him. I think him and Manny Sanders will flip-flop weeks, but I think Knox is definitely the underneath guy, that little security blanket. I know Josh wants to throw the ball deep, but I think Knox will be just fine. And Drew played him this week.
Did he?
Yeah, he had Gronkowski. He had Gronkowski out though. But yeah, good for him. Let's go Bears Lions.
I did not see a single highlight from this game. All I know is Justin Fields did just enough to get the win.
Yep, threw the ball deep. There was one topic this morning they were talking about. They were talking about the butt fumble, like how embarrassing the butt fumble was. They said, and I can't remember which podcast I heard it on, but it was the weirdest Jared Goff interception I've ever seen in my life. They called it the dick pic.
Oh my gosh.
It bounced off his groin on the snap and bounced into the defensive tackle's hands. You're going to have to find it, the dick pic. Hilarious. I can't remember who came up with that, but just sounds hilarious. But it literally ricocheted off his groin, thigh, and bounced right in the nose tackle's hands. Other than that, Lions looked awful. Jamal Williams was bad. Swift was bad. Hawkinson was okay for a tight end. And it was Khalif Raymond, wide receiver, who caught the 2 touchdowns.
Halftime of the Monday night game, by the way.
Halftime, 21-0.
Lots of rushes for David Montgomery. He did come up a little gimpy this week. So we'll see what happens there. Damian Williams does steal one of the 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, that was after Montgomery was ruled out.
Darnell Mooney, 5 catches, 125.
Yeah, they threw the ball deep. He had one of those catches was for 65 or 64 yards.
Allen Robinson, 3 for 63. Weird. He must have basically just not completed anything underneath and hucked it up deep every time that it was a completion.
He was throwing it deep.
Every pass, apparently. 11 for 17.
Worst game on TV this weekend that they showed 0 of in the red zone, basically, was Browns Vikings. It was
nothing happened.
Like the entire first half was 3 drives.
Speaking of another bet I should have took, I should just play my gut at this point. The Browns were down 7-0 in the second quarter, and the Browns had plus 125 odds to win the game. And I should have just bet on it because I knew the Vikings were not going to be able to hold that out.
No, it was just a super low scoring. Stefanski came from the Vikings, Mike Zimmer and everything. And it just like, they were like, whoever wins this game, they're going to be happy they won 10-7, and it was 14-7. So not much from that game.
Looks Baker like Alexander Madison, Dalvin Cook split carries.
Yep.
Chubb had a 100-yard rushing game, so that's cool.
But he doesn't look good. Baker looked bad. Baker missed Odell a few times. Colts Dolphins.
Honestly, they should just trade Odell.
I think they need him.
Colts Dolphins. This was a weird one. I'm shocked that the Dolphins lost this game. Carson Wentz finally put it together for the most part. 24 for 32, 228, and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor looks like a beast. They finally got some Marlon Mack some work.
It's going to be hard to predict those Naheem Hines games. I think it's definitely when you think they're going to be game scripted down multiple scores. But tough to
Myles
picture.
Gaskin should not be in your starting lineup while Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback. So that's sad.
Yeah. I don't know if you can trust many of them. I think you could probably play 2 Dolphins.
Who?
Well, with Jacoby
Devontae Parker.
Okay, maybe 3. With Jacoby Brissett, Mike Gesicki has had back-to-back very good games.
Yep. 16.7 this week.
Yep. And then I think you could flip-flop. Just if you wanted, you could play Gesicki's probably the only one you really could play. And then you could flip-flop with Parker and Waddle. Waddle had the good week last week. He had the bad week this week.
It's all based on the defense they're playing.
Yep. Will Fuller's out. He looks like he has a broken finger. But he's out this week.
But Myles Gaskin is unstartable.
Correct.
Right now, until Tua gets back, and then he'll be startable again.
I agree. Giants Saints, another overtime game. Saquon
This was
Barkley
a wild one. Saquon is back.
back, baby.
5 for 74 and a touchdown. That's just receiving. 13 for 52 and a touchdown on the ground. He did have the game-winning touchdown, I believe.
He did from 5 or 6 yards out, and just bulldozed through the line and reached across. Giants were down a few guys. No Slayton, no Shepard. Worked in with Galladay, Kadarius Toney, and Kyle Rudolph, Evan Ingram. Kind of picked up the slack, but it was really Barkley. Saints are a disaster.
What the hell's going on there?
I don't know. Alvin Kamara had a career high 26 carries and a career low 0 targets. Don't know. Taysom Hill, 2 rushing touchdowns.
He's gonna vulture all of them. He's the new Mark Ingram.
He's gonna vulture touchdowns. Jameis hasn't thrown more than I think he's like 25 passes in all 4 games. Like they've been really kind of holding him back, which I mean you can kind of expect. Alvin Kamara 26 carries, 126 yards, something like that, 120. So just efficient on the ground, but Giants. By the way, I saw one thing. I didn't see the video. Again, I heard it on a podcast this morning. I guess who's the Peppers guy? Defense. Jabril Peppers. I said Julius. Jabril Peppers. I guess he's one of the defensive captains or special team captains or whatever, and they went out for overtime, and he won the toss, and the ref's mic was on, and he won the toss. He's like, "We want the fucking ball."
Yeah, I heard about that. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, good for them. One of the funnest games to watch.
Most fun.
Chiefs Eagles.
I did not turn that one on because the Cowboys were playing. So tell me what happened.
Well, Cowboys Panthers were the afternoon window.
No, it was morning.
Was it a morning game?
It was a morning game. Continue. Kansas City, Philadelphia was a morning game as well.
Kansas City, Philadelphia, 2 bad defenses. Tyreek Hill got loose all the time. Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked good. And then Jalen Hurts just torched the Chiefs defense. Like people said Jalen Hurts can't pass. He threw for almost 400 yards.
387.
Almost 400 yards. Devonta Smith
400 yards total.
400 yards total offense. Yeah, there you go. And got a garbage time touchdown, made it closer than what it was. But just super high scoring, high pace. Great football to watch. Bad if you're a defensive guy. But yeah, let's Patrick Mahomes, we got Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill caught 3. We mentioned Travis Kelce didn't have the good game. They did run the one trick play with Kelce not knowing what was going on, which was a pretty funny one. If you haven't seen that, check it out. But yeah, Panthers Cowboys, we moved to that game.
That was the only game I watched on the weekend, to be honest with you.
Homer.
It was really fun. Yeah.
Homer.
It was pretty fun to see the Cowboys be as dominant as we all know they can be at times. Dak only threw the ball 22 times for 188, but he had 4 touchdowns on the day.
High efficiency.
Yeah, very high efficiency. Zeke looked really good. Pollard looked really good. It was we can do whatever we want and you can't stop it, which is weird for the Panthers defense.
Yeah, did you see I know the Panthers made it close to the very end. They scored a couple touchdowns and Dallas trying around the clock. That last play that the Cowboys wanted to for the first down where they had Zeke offset and then they ran the option with Zeke and Tony Pollard. That was pretty wild.
You got a Razorback offense going on? Or
yeah,
I actually missed that.
Zeke was offset in the fullback spot and Dak I believe he taught a soft toss to Zeke, and it was like 3rd and 2, I believe, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and gave it to Zeke in the fullback, kind of like offset fullback. And then was running hard at it, and Tony Pollard's running the option next to him, and Zeke pitches it to Pollard and gets like 8 yards and just runs
Oh,
out
I
the
did see
clock.
that.
That was
It
great
was on
play.
the right hand side.
Yeah, it was great play. And we've talked about Kellen Moore. He's going to be a head coach next year. Offensive genius. Panthers
Probably
looked pretty good.
for the what team? Probably the Jaguars since Urban Meyer's done.
He's having a hell of a night partying.
He's having a hell of a week.
Yeah. We'll see. Panthers. It was a Sam Darnold / DJ Moore show.
DJ Moore is really good.
They're putting him in the backfield. That was wild.
He had some jet sweeps. He was all over the place.
Sam Darnold, 2 rushing touchdowns. That would be 5 through 4 weeks.
Which is a fluke.
He is leading the league in rushing touchdowns.
It's a fluke.
But that's going to boast his numbers towards the end of the year. He's going to end up being probably easily top 15 quarterback, most likely.
Yeah, but you can't pay attention.
No, that's fine. I mean, you could spot start him if you needed to by weeks.
Oh, absolutely.
More for super flex, but yeah.
Steelers got walloped.
Don't. Oh my!
Is he done? Is he done?
I said it last week.
Is it even worth you watching?
I said it last week.
It's not even worth you watching anymore.
The refs, they did blow one call. That it was not offsides. It was a blocked field goal for a touchdown. Right at the end of the half. It was
still doesn't matter.
It would have been Pittsburgh would have had the lead going at halftime. But again, and they were talking about it today. There's a 4th down play. Freaking Ben Roethlisberger throws it to Najee, which I don't mind. But it's 4th and 4, and they threw it 2 yards in the backfield again. I just
he did it on a 4th and 10 last week, huh?
Oh my god, it's so bad. Like people are talking like, I mean, you can't bench him, but
because Mason Rudolph's awful.
You gotta have better play calling, better play selection. I mean, you gotta do something. And they're gonna play Ben Roethlisberger until they're out of playoff contention, and then watch out. It's gonna get ugly. There's gonna be. I don't even think there's gonna be some Dwayne Haskins games.
So I should trade Deontay Johnson as well.
No, Deontay Johnson's still going to be good. Deontay and Najee are still going to be fine. They're going to be force-fed the ball. But they're going to throw in some Dwayne Haskins games. I mean, they know what they have with Mason Rudolph. So I don't know why they would play Mason Rudolph.
They should not. He's not a starting quarterback.
No, I understand. Like, maybe you play Dwayne Haskins, see if he can function in the system. But they're not going to play those guys until they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, which isn't going to be till the second half of the season. And I said it last week. I was optimistic to start the year. I'm not very optimistic right now. They're dead last in the division, and they're the worst team in the division by far.
Moving on, Ravens beat the Broncos. There was a bit of drama at the end of this game in regards to trying to get to a 100-yard rushing milestone and some head-to-head contact. Lamar Jackson throws for 300 yards again, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. 7 carries for 28 yards for him. He's got that 1 touchdown pass. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was pretty savvy with them. They knew exactly what they needed. They didn't take the kneel down. And they ran the ball quarterback sweep, just quarterback outside run, just to get I think they needed like 3 yards. They got like 5. They wanted that.
Latavius Murray day.
It was, but he only had like 60 yards, something like that. Not
59
a whole lot. 59.
And a touchdown.
Yeah, wasn't great. Game I looked forward to was Cardinals-Rams. Cardinals blew the doors off the Rams. Yeah, crazy. James Conner, 2 rushing touchdowns. Chase Edmonds, great in between the 20s. AJ Green caught a touchdown. Everyone was involved.
Chase Edmonds 12 for 120 on the ground.
Rams.
AJ Green's good.
AJ, yeah, you could probably start him in the flex.
Yeah, he's a flex play.
Yeah, I would play him over Rondell Moore and over Christian Kirk.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily. And Rams, Cooper Kupp had 13 more targets. It is just, I mean, he only caught 5, but
yeah,
it is. I don't know what to do.
It's basically dial up the play for Cooper every week.
Every week. And going into like the fourth quarter, Robert Woods had one catch, and he caught 3 for 30 and a touchdown in the fourth quarter. And he got the touchdown pass in the fourth quarter and just turned and threw the ball to the ref. He just looked disgusted. Like, can we get some Robert Woods love, please?
No.
I saw this tweet. It was I mean, everyone's seen Tiger King, obviously. And it was like all those Robert Woods drafters that drafted Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp is the Tiger King. I will not financially recover from this. And that's how I totally feel in a lot of leagues. That's a good one. I will not financially recover from drafting Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp. And it hits home pretty hard. But yeah, great. I mean, bailed out with a touchdown, but sorry, Michelle fumbles. You don't see him the rest of the day. Darrell Henderson looks good coming from his first game back. Cardinals just walloped them. Nothing else about it.
Seattle, San Francisco. I really don't know what to say about either of these teams right now. They're both hot or cold.
Mm-hmm. Trey Lance got in.
Trey Lance did get in. There was a ghost injury to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, it's
to his calf
injury. They said a couple of weeks, 3 weeks.
No, it's a ghost injury. He'll be back.
Oh, they've as far as I know, like I think ruled him out this week.
Let me double check this.
But it did say a multi-week injury.
Wasn't as bad as we thought, and he'll be reevaluated on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's gonna be out this week. Seattle is just, they were so bad in the first half.
After Garoppolo said he anticipated missing a couple weeks, it doesn't sound that dire. Garoppolo may have a shot to be out there week 5 against Arizona, though the Niners have their bye week the following week.
Yeah, they'll probably hold him out. Lance looked okay, but he was very hesitant. Obviously,
he looks good.
Yeah, I mean, the box score is a little. It's not indicative. He had a 75-yard touchdown pass to Deebo Samuel. That doesn't inflate the stats. Nobody was within 15 yards of Deebo Samuel on that first touchdown. He did run the ball, but they did run like the ball like the first 7 or 8 times, which is fine. He's a rookie quarterback. Seahawks do pull it out. 49ers are using another running back by committee between Trey Sermon and Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback, if anybody doesn't know who that is. But yeah, I mean, I think you can only start Deebo Samuel. You can probably start Trey Lance.
Sermon had all of the rushing attempts, by the way.
No catches. Juszczyk had 4 for 40 or something like that.
Yep.
So they're going to split the work. We'll see what happens when Elijah Mitchell comes back. Obviously, they trusted him to start. So when he gets back, we'll see what that kind of workload is like.
Final game of Sunday was another one that ruined the hearts of all bettors. Tampa Bay was favored by 6.5 points, and the Patriots covered 19-17 Buccaneers. It was a boring ass game. Leonard Fournette finally got going. Ronald Jones had the rushing touchdown. Mike Evans broke the passing touchdown record. Tom Brady had a pretty off night, as he actually was the worst quarterback out of the 3 passers in the game.
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers with a couple passes.
Looked good.
12 targets for Jacoby Myers, of all things.
Yeah, it was a downpour, poncho weather, as they call it. Patriots did all they could.
New England.
and they were talking about like, I mean, obviously Tom Brady and the Bucs won, but the game plan by Belichick was impeccable. And the weather, like he did, I mean, obviously, I mean, he knows Tom Brady's tendencies. By the way, Steve Belichick stole the freaking show on Sunday night. The tongue, the mullet, man, Bill must be proud of his boy. That is one heck of a look. The de facto defensive coordinator, but that dude, he was. I mean, they did a great job trying to lock up Brady. But
I'm
obviously,
glad Steve's not a secret anymore.
no. Also, I mean, obviously, like Nick Folk had it. I mean, they had a kick to win the game, or not to win, but like with 50 seconds to go, doinked off the left upright in the poncho weather. I mean, got the ball all the way 55 yards, but they came up short. Rest is history. Buccaneers move on in the win column, and right now the Chargers are still up 21-0. Last time I checked.
Yep.
It is
moving
the second half.
on to the matchups that mattered.
By the way, I did look at the schedule. Obviously, after the Giants Cowboys game next week, Sunday night football, Chiefs, Bills.
Oh shit. Okay.
We got to find a spot for that.
We do.
Oof.
We'll have to look it up. I'm sure there'll be something within walking distance of where
Oh
we're
yeah, definitely. But I think like we're definitely have to find something. But I just wanted to preview that, like Bills Chiefs. That's gonna be be fun. A fun Sunday night game. But yeah,
matchups that mattered. We thought. I thought this would be a little bit sketchy going into Monday night, but after what we've seen so far, I can all but chalk up a 4-0 start, 162.3 to 129.12. I still have Herbert going against Darren Waller. So we can count that as a win.
How does it feel being 4-0? I think it's your first 4-0 start.
I normally lose in week one. I'll be honest, I'm not paying a ton of attention to my fantasy teams this year because I was focused on sports betting. But as soon as I climb out of this hole I've made for myself, I will pay some more attention to fantasy.
Yeah. It looks like Dark Horse will fall to 2-2. There's gonna be a lot of 2-2 teams after this week.
Yeah. And 2 4-0 teams.
2 4-0 teams. It looks like there will be one 0-4 team. They only won 0-4 team. We'll jump to that matchup right now. That 0-4 team is going to be Blaster. He's going to lose to Kenny Drake has 0.2 points.
Yeah, it's over.
Brinkman
game script. It's over.
Brinkman moves into Stuart Brinkman moves back into 2-2. Blaster drops to the infamous 0-4 team.
Mm-hmm.
Tough loss. He's going to lose Montgomery for a little bit. Lost Logan Thomas. So it is what it is.
He's going to need to make some trades, and that's all there is to it.
So he might have to. He's got Gesicki. He's got T. Higgins, who's been out. So I mean, he's going to be okay. He's got McKissick. I mean, he's got some options, but looks like the Raiders are in the red zone.
Yep, just had a sack. The next 4-0 team is Cody Jubal Sackett, 130.58 over Cole Stewart, or not Cole Stewart, over Cole, 108.06. Yep, Cole moves to 2-2.
2-2. Sackett, like we said, moves into the 4-0 slot. Both division leaders at 4-0. Those are the only two undefeated teams. Sackett, a little bit of a down week, 130 for him. He will be just fine.
Two more 2-2 teams. One hit wonders, and Drew ekes it out against Heath, 122.32 to 119 even.
That will be the closest game of the year. It will top out one of the games in week one, I believe, when Dalton, you beat
by 5 in week one, I believe.
Yeah. So this will top it.
Drew 0.332 or 3.32.
Yep, it'll beat it by just about half a point or so.
Touchdown Raiders.
Who is it?
Hunter Renfro.
Hunter Renfro. Good week for Drew and some of those weird ones. Obviously, you got a good game for Mahomes and Zeke. Zach Moss has been killing it. Played AJ Green, Dawson Knox. Good for him. Let's move on to this one. Is gonna be close.
It's gonna be very close.
Yeah, it's projected as Lein right now.
Squeak one out.
Lein could. I was talking to Luke earlier. He's like, if I lose to Lein, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
Lein just crossed the 100 threshold with that Daniel Carlson extra point.
Yep. Obviously, if Lein does not pull it out, he will also drop to 0-4.
It's looking like he's gonna win.
I think he'll probably win. Keenan Allen's should get going a little bit. But Eckler could go off still. He's got a lot of time. This match is not over. It is not over yet. So that's one to watch through the standings. And then your
finally
commish,
one that is over.
It is over. Yeah, it's over. Your commish, your defending champ, your 0-3 defending champ, gets off the schneid, puts up a 181 burger. Great game for me. Pat still is going to put up in the 150s. Good for him. Not a bad way to lose when you put up a high scoring team. I believe he's be the third highest scoring team of the week, behind me, you, Dalton, and then him. So very good for him. Again, he played Cordero Patterson. He had Cordero Patterson and DJ Moore. I had the number one and number 2 scoring players of the week, and he had the number 3 and number 4 scoring players of the week. Just tough match. I mean, he put, I believe, his best lineup in there.
There's been a lot of low scores by everyone in the league so far this year.
So yeah, that'll be glad to get in the 1-3 club, especially with all those 2-2 teams. I feel okay. It should be a high scoring team. But I'm just glad to not go 0-4. 0-4 is almost a death sentence to make the playoffs. I know we have one extra week, but glad I could get in the win column.
There's only been 15 over 140 point performances so far this year.
Over what?
Over 140.
Over 140.
Only 15 of them.
And I know I have 2, maybe 3.
Something.
Yeah. I've lost. I'm glad to get a win on Monday night too. I've lost all the last 3 games on Monday night, and I'm glad.
Don't have to worry about it tonight.
No. But we have not taken a break yet. I think we're just going to power through, aren't we?
I think that's the case. Moving on to the preview.
Quick preview.
Looks like we got myself versus Heath.
Yeah.
Heath is coming in off of a loss, I believe.
Yep. He will be coming off a loss.
It'll be Zachary Stewart taking on Lein while we are all together in Dallas.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
We got Jubal Sackett versus Patrick's.
Yeah, that should be a good
casual. Currently, I don't know what the hell's going on here. The projections have Stuart Brinkman blowing Drew out of the water.
Yeah, Drew's team is going to be one of those nuisance teams that he's going to have good weeks. And like he's going to be consistent, but we don't know what that consistency point wise is going to look like. And if you put up a bad week against his consistent 125 team, you might lose. Like obviously he did this week. He put up 122 and just was average.
Dark Horse versus Blaster.
See if Blaster can get off the schneid and get that.
The last one, I believe, is a bowl game.
Yes, it is. This is the Curse Like a Sailor bowl game. We have Monsters and Freight Trains, Lucas Stewart, and the PMT Water Dogs and Cole Smith. That should be a fun one. Let's see if that goes down to Monday night. It does not, but it will go down to Sunday night.
And it's the final week of division games, is it not?
It is the final week of division games. Then we will.
So that is very important.
Very important. It's nice to get out of division play with a winning record.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But if you can be at least 2-3 would be nice. Obviously, that's what I'm shooting for, 2-3. And then moving to the other side of division play or interdivision play. And that's
the season goes by so fast.
Mm-hmm. Once you hit the other side of the division, that's where you'll either make up some ground or get buried.
Yeah.
Because one thing to get buried in your division, but if you have the stronger division, you're going to catch up.
Right.
Because everyone in your division is
the case for the division that you're in.
Yes. I think our division, just based on teams, is stronger just by looking at them.
If I start 5-0, that's pretty damn good for me.
Yeah, you're pretty much locked in. Again, like 14 weeks, you're 7-7. Like you should make it the playoffs. But you are only 15 points behind Sackett for not like points wise, but you should jump him in points this week. So you should take over one
points
seed.
Don't matter.
When you haven't played yet, it does.
Oh, you're right. Because we're separate divisions.
Separate divisions. Because you're going to outscore him by more than 15.
Yeah.
So you're going to jump into the number one seed
I'm up
this
by
week.
31 and some change right now.
Yeah. So you're going to move into that number one seed. So it's going to be fun. We have the Dallas trip, 2 4-0 teams leading their respective divisions, and 2 teams that are fighting for their life, 1-4.
Yes.
Should make for an interesting weekend. I have not come up with any bets, Dalton. I am sorry. If anybody knows, we do the bets that matter. And yes, I was a bad
Can you do them tomorrow?
I will do my best. Yeah, I will do my best, and I'll get them over to you.
And then we can recap them.
We could make the bets live in Dallas, which would be fun. A short little.
Maybe we'll base them all around either the London game or the Dallas game itself.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll do a short snippet pod, and just hammer those out. But
Sounds
for
good.
the quick running total, real fast. Week 4, the over under 35.5 lost turnovers. It's definitely going to be in the under unless there are 6+ turnovers in the second half of this game. Dalton is going to take that one home. We both took KC and Philly for more fumbles, which was true. 3-1 over Washington and Atlanta.
Wow.
And then I was able to come away with a win with the Tennessee and Jet interception with 1, and Jacksonville Cincinnati had 0 interceptions. So the running total is Dalton 6 and Zach 3. Looking over just a recap of the season longs. We have Taysom Hill over under 6.5 touchdowns. He's almost halfway there. DJ Moore versus Calvin Ridley. Obviously, DJ Moore had the big week 4. And then Dalton is up in the Cardinals winning the division, and I have the Rams. And
just so happened to play this last week.
Yep, that's why it was nice. Obviously, the Rams are in that right there. So running total 6-3 for Dalton. Tied. We each went 2-1 this week because there was one tie, and we did hit it right. So that being said, Dalton 6, Zachary 3, and we will get those bets that matter by this weekend in Dallas.
Look for this episode to be posted on the podcast at some point, probably tomorrow, because I do believe I'm going to sleep as soon as we hit end on this one, as we did record a bit late.
Yes, I had to work, and Dalton was gracious enough to postpone the podcast by about an hour and a half.
2 hours.
Yeah, at least an hour and a half. Appreciate it. And we will catch you next time on the next one.
Hopefully there's one this weekend. No promises. But we hope to have one this weekend.
We-
Worst case scenario, Zach hosts it and I do it off my phone.
Yep, we will figure it all out and go from there.
Raiders have the ball, 4 minutes left in the third quarter, by the way.
All right. To all those out there, if you're still fighting for a win, good luck. And we will see you in Dallas.
Peace.